So if you're someone who struggles to lift yourself up from the dead hang position, this exercise is for you. Hey guys, my name is Brian and welcome to my tip channel. Today I'm going to show you exactly how you can get a pull-up even if you're a complete beginner. First of all, the pull-up is one of the most fundamental exercises in calisthenics and it's one of the precursors to learning more advanced bodyweight movements. So it's super important that you learn the pull-up now so that you can build up that base pulling strength so that you can progress in your bodyweight trainings. So yeah, let's head to the pull-up bars now. Okay guys, so for the technique, there'll be 4 steps. Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention one thing. In this video, I'm going to cover 2 things. 1, the technique of the pull-up, and 2, the regressions you need to build up that strength to learn the pull-up. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a full workout to help you build that strength to learn the pull-up no matter which level you're at. So stay tuned and watch till the end. And yeah, for real, we're going to head to the pull-up bars now. Okay guys, so for the technique, there'll be 4 steps. The first step is actually to hold the bar shoulder width apart in a pronated grip. So if you don't know what's a pronated grip, it's like that. Right, palms facing away from you, and the supinated grip is the other way, which we use for chin up. So for pull-ups, we're going to use it on a pronated grip. Okay, so that's step 1. Okay, step number 2, you want to activate your scapulas. So it's just basically being in this position and lifting your body up without bending your arms. So you look like this. Okay, so from another angle, it's going to look like that. So basically just lifting your entire body up without bending your arms. Okay, anyways, this comes super naturally when you're doing the pull-up, so don't overthink it. Okay, step number 3, nothing fancy. Just pull yourself all the way up, chin above the bar. So 2 things to note here. First, you want to engage the right muscles, which is your lats, which is the wing-like muscle at the side of your body. And next, you do not want to kip. So you do not want to like swing your legs or anything when you're going up. So this is an example of a kip pull-up which you want to avoid. So anything like this is a big no-no, okay? Okay, so you just want to go up nice and steady like this, chin all the way above the bar. Okay, so step number 4, you want to go back down the same way you went up, keeping the same muscles engaged, and yep, do not kip. Alright, there you go, it's just that. That's the technique for the pull-up, but the hardest part is actually on executing the movement and building up strength to get the movement, which is what I'm going to cover now. So for those of you who do not have the strength yet to do the pull-up, that's when regressions come into play. Thankfully, it's easy to manipulate this movement so that anyone at any level can learn the pull-up. So the first regression I want to talk about is the assisted pull-ups. So this is by far my favorite regression, and there's 3 ways you can do it. The first one is to use a band, so it's called band assisted pull-ups. So what you want to do, you want to take a band and just hoop it around the bar and put your legs on it, and you'll take off some load from your body and you just perform the pull-ups, okay? And yeah, it's going to be way easier than a normal pull-up, and it's going to help you build that strength for the actual pull-up. Anyways, using a thicker band is going to make this movement easier because you're taking more load off your body. So as you progress, you want to progressively use a thinner and thinner band, and eventually you wouldn't need any. Okay, the second way is the chair assisted pull-ups. So you'll be needing a chair like this, and this variation is great if you don't have the bands or you don't want to buy them because they can be pretty expensive at times. So if you're at home, grab a chair and this is how it's done. Okay, I know I'm getting cut out a bit, but the whole idea is you put your legs on a chair like that for assistance and you use it as much as you need to get yourself up in a pull-up, okay? And as you progress, you'll be using your legs less and less, and eventually you're going to be able to do a pull-up without assistance. Anyways, you can obviously use any other objects and not just a chair to do this variation. Let's say you're in the gym and don't have a chair, you can use the bench, for example. And maybe for some weird reasons you don't have a chair at home, you can always use an object that you can put your leg on. Okay, so the third way is to do ground assisted pull-ups. So it's gonna look a bit like this. It's the same concept as using the chair for assistance, just that you're using the ground now. And usually I don't use this regression unless I don't have a band or a chair. I mean, training still have to go on, right? Yeah, but not the most optimal. Anyways, it looks like this. Using your legs, just push down on the ground and just assist yourself as much as you need. Okay, this bar is a little too high for it. If you have an even lower bar, you can use your legs to support yourself throughout the entire movement. As you can see here, once I'm at a certain point my feet lifts off the ground and I have to use my entire body weight. Okay, so not the best example, but you get the idea, right? So in conclusion, these are the 3 ways they can do the assisted pull-ups. This is perfect for those who don't have the strength yet for the pull-up but want to practice the entire movement itself. Okay, so the next regression is actually called the negatives, which works on the eccentric movement of the pull-up, which is the part where you lower yourself down. Okay, so anyways, when I was learning the pull-up, I used this so much along with the assisted pull-ups, and yep, just sharing with you guys. And anyways, if you want to know how this movement looks like, just keep watching. You want to aim to lower yourself down slow and steady for about 6 seconds. At the start, you're probably going to fall straight away, but keep going at it and you'll find yourself going down slower and slower. So if you're someone who struggles to lift yourself up from the dead hang position, this exercise is for you. Okay, so most people when they perform the negatives, they can do it nice and slowly all the way down until they reach a certain point and they just crash all the way down. And the reason for that is understandable because the initial part of the pull-up, which is this part, this range, is usually the hardest part for most people. Okay, so same way as how the pulling up will be the most difficult around this region, the going down from this region is going to be as hard. If you were to start the pull-up from the bent arm position like that, I'm pretty sure more people are going to be able to do the pull-up, right? Let me know if that's your case in the comments. So yeah, you can focus this exercise on the lower part of the movement so they can get stronger at it and sort of fix your weak point. So instead of doing the full negative like this, okay, you're just going to start from the part where you're weakest at. So let's say from here, you're just going to perform the negative from there. So you're just going to wrap it out. So you just keep going at it at the same angle. Okay, and that's going to build up strength at your weakest point. So here we are pinpointing the weakest part of your pull-up. As the saying goes, you are only as strong as your weakest link. So using this regression, we can make all of our links as strong, if that makes sense. And this works because your eccentric movement and your concentric movement works hand in hand. So your concentric movement is the part where you pull yourself up, right? And eccentric is the part where you lower yourself down. So if you get stronger in your eccentric movement, you're also going to get stronger in your concentric movement. So yeah, this works perfectly. Okay, another point worth noting is that the part where your chin is above the bar till the 90-degree angle is usually another weak point for most people for the pull-up. So you can apply the same concept and just do the negatives for that portion. So it's just going to look a bit like this. Alright, let's go. Alright, so the next regression, we have isometric holds. This is actually a sister exercise of the negatives. So if you're not strong enough for the negatives, you can opt for this. So this is basically holding yourself in a static position at any point of the pull-up. So you can do this for any point of the movement, like from the top, from the middle, from the bottom, from a 120-degree angle, anywhere. Okay, so I recommend doing it from different angles and targeting the weaker portions of a pull-ups specifically. So what I want you to do is just practice holding yourself at certain points for a set period of time and do it for sets. Alright, so finally we are the last progression, which is the incline pull-ups, or as people call it, the Australian pull-up. So we're going to move away from the pull-up bar now and go to the incline bars like this. Okay, so the movement is going to look like this. Okay, just pull yourself up and down just like in a pull-up. But for this, our legs will be on the ground, so it's going to be way easier than the pull-up itself. Okay, so again, it's going to look like this. For an easier variation, you're going to move your feet closer to the bar, so your body will be in a steeper angle. It's going to make this movement a whole lot easier. But if you want to make it harder, just move your legs as far away from the bar as possible and just do the pull-up. Just like this. Okay, even though this movement is a lot easier than the pull-up, it's still gonna help you build the strength up for the pull-up because it's working the same muscles and it's building strength in those muscles. So those are the 4 regressions that you can use to build up strength for the pull-up. Honestly, you don't need that many exercises, just 4 of those are more than enough. Anyways, as promised, I'm gonna give you one full workout you can use to train for your pull-ups using the regressions that we just gone through, so just keep watching. Okay, so for the workout, the first thing you want to do is to pick an exercise from the 4 regressions that I've just mentioned. A good gauge would be to pick an exercise that you can do around 10 to 15 reps of. If you can do more than that, the exercise is probably too easy for you, and if you can do less than that amount of reps, it's probably too hard for you. So 10 to 15 reps is perfect. Once that's done, I want you to perform 8 reps of that exercise for a total of 4 sets. For example, you can do 8 reps of negatives for 4 sets. Alright, as for rest, I want you to rest as little as you can, but enough such that you can perform the reps in the next set. Usually that's around 1 to 3 minutes, but it really differs from person to person, so just take note. Next, repeat the same thing but with the next easier exercise from the one that you just performed. So same thing, 8 reps of 4 sets of this easier exercise. So for example, I did the negatives just now, right? So maybe now I'll do the incline pull-ups. But one point to note, you don't want to choose an exercise that is way too easy for you. You still want to challenge yourself, okay? So yeah, gauge for yourself, okay? And that is it, just 8 sets and you get a super good workout to build strength for the pull-ups. And if that's not enough for you, you can always do more sets. Like instead of doing 4 sets per exercise, you can do 5 or 6. Okay, so just to recap, this is how the workout looks like. I know this looks very simple, but really you don't need all those super fancy workouts and exercises to get the job done. Alright, so that is all for me. Hope you understand how to get the pull-up more easily now. And yeah, just a reminder, don't worry about how long it takes you to get the pull-up. Just focus on the process and enjoy it. Anyways, what's the biggest struggle you face when you're learning the pull-up? Is it pulling yourself up from the dead hang position, or is it getting your chin above the bar? Or is it something else? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video and hopefully benefited from it, don't forget to click the like button. Also subscribe if you want to see more of such videos and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I post, which is every Friday. See you in the next video.